Hey everybody, it's Dr. Kristy Taylor, the social impact career coach and founder of Work Solutions LLC. And you know, my motto is that I like to help the people who help the people. If you're someone who's committed to making a difference in your community, if you consider yourself a change maker, a power player for impact, then I am the career coach for you. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're actually going to do a reaction video. There has been a video of a young lady who decided to wear shorts to a job interview. Now, the recruiter for the interview actually rescheduled, but the young lady decided to record herself and post it to TikTok or online, whatever platform she posted it to. And it has been making its rounds on the internet, and people have been giving comments. So now it's time for me to react as a career coach. So I'm going to share my screen with you and play this video, and then we're going to come back and discuss.
So I just got dress coded during an interview. And then they decided to reschedule the interview with me for tomorrow. But before they rescheduled, the lady was like, "Would you like to come back? I could change it and come back." And I was like, "No, these are the shorts. These are some style, y'all. These are the shorts."
So my immediate reaction, of course, as a career coach is that I would never advise a client to wear shorts to a job interview. And so I want to just kind of quickly kind of give some perspective in my thoughts, but then the most important thing here is I actually want to know what you think. So one of the things that immediately comes to mind is that first impressions do matter. And so while I advocate for you as someone who's looking for a job, or even my clients, to be authentic, it's going to be really crucial that you recognize that first impressions are formed quickly in a job interview setting. You've already impressed the employer or potential employer with your resume, right? So that was the first step to getting you in the door. And the job interview is the opportunity for them to see who you are as a person. So showing up is really important, that you dress to impress. But a big part of that comes from you taking time to really research the company. For example, I've always encouraged my clients to research a company's culture before they go into an interview. And that helps you to understand whether the environment is casual, business casual, or formal. And it can guide you on your clothing choices. But again, I would never advise you to wear shorts to a job interview. And I think that one of the things that really pops up here is that the landscape of how we interview since COVID is changing, right? Because if we're doing virtual interviews, then people don't always see what we have on. We might have a blazer on at the top and some pajamas on at the bottom. But I will say that when I'm doing interviews, I always dress for success from top to bottom, because I want to feel like my best self so that I can present my best self, if that makes sense. If I go into the interview feeling positive, if I feel too relaxed, because if I'm dressed in pajamas per se on my bottoms, then I'm not going to feel like my best self. But I think that a part of, really researching the company and really doing your best is presenting your best self in all aspects and in every way. And so even though the landscape is changing. And then if you're going to an interview in person, again, it's really going to be important that you are dressed from head to toe in your personal best from top to bottom. And that's something that really shows that you took the time to research that company. And although your individuality is important, it's also important that you make a great impression about aligning with that company's expectation, because that can help to enhance your candidacy, right? Remember that this is a competitive job landscape, so we want to make sure that we put our best foot forward. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're wearing a three-piece suit and tie to a job interview at McDonald's to be a cashier, unless you are maybe interviewing for a management role, general management type of position, right? We want to dress accordingly, but it also doesn't mean that if I'm going to interview at a job as a cashier, that I'm just going to wear some blue jeans with a hole in them, or some flip flops, right? Maybe some slacks or a nice little skirt or dress. Just depends on what you have accessible and available. But the point is that you always want to go in looking your personal best. I think one of the things that really makes a difference here is that the young lady also was given an opportunity to reschedule the interview. She declined, but then she also used the power of social media to voice her frustrations with the process. Which, even if you disagree, right? I think one of the questions to consider is this the right time to bring it to the internet? because it allows people to express their opinions on it, especially when you know that a majority of people, some people agree, some people disagree. Now, um, again, I point out that research is key. You should have some level of authenticity in your own personal style, because within the context of self-expression, again, there are parameters, and that research just kind of shows that you really are taking time to understand the company's culture, because it's important to have a balance of self-expression and professionalism. Like, I like to add little scarves or pieces to my wardrobe to really highlight who I am as a person. Some people I work with, they wear colorful socks with their slacks, and I think that all of those little whimsical things are nice depending on the setting and the context. There's always ways to incorporate your personal style into your attire, but it's essential to consider how your choices might be perceived. Again, those people who are wearing those whimsical socks are usually people who've been around for a while. They've been with the company for a while. And so for going into a job interview, you want to keep things professional, simple, maybe show a little bit of your personality through what you are wearing, like pieces such as scarves or neckties. But again, focus on the professionalism and securing the job. Now, I think this is a learning moment on both sides. Now, for the job seekers, this situation highlights the importance of you really being prepared and understanding the expectations of the type of industry that you're entering. The recruiter, again, was very nice in allowing the opportunity for this person to reschedule the interview, although she declined. But I think on the employer side, too, when we talk about building a resilient workforce, the employers need to be very clear on what the expectations are when people are coming into their organization, and how they communicate those expectations and whether their policies align with the values. What would kind of make me feel comfortable enough to wear a short set or a pair of flip-flops to a job interview? I mean, it kind of says something about the company too, that those expectations are not made clear. And then finally, the perspective I want to give here is about flexibility and adaptability. So again, we know that the workforce and the work landscape has really changed since COVID, right? And so whether it's an in-person interview or an online interview, I would tell you to remain consistent with putting your best self forward and being and really understanding the company culture, but also being able to be flexible that different settings have different professional requirements and different dress standards. It's just as important as your technical skills for the job, right? So what I wear to one environment may not be the same as what I wear to another environment. And then it's important also to understand how and when to prioritize your personal preference over professional norms within the organization. Because again, if you did your research ahead of time, if you really understood what that company was for, just some minimum standards for how to go into this interview process and how you should dress for the role that you were pursuing, then that kind of will help you decide, is this going to be a good fit for you? So a couple of things I kind of want to ask. Did you agree with what things did you agree or disagree with that I said in this video? What is your perspective on wearing shorts to an interview or even dressing up for it, whether it's an in-person or virtual interview? And what are your thoughts on adding personal style? I want to hear it. I want to hear everything that you think about this topic, and I look forward to reading your comments, and I will definitely respond. Thank you and have a great day.